Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today I will be joined by my friend to the north. We have Luke, also known as My635mm on Instagram. He and I had our conversation just a little bit ago, and so I'm recording this kind of in advance or behind, so I know the future. But anyway, we get into a conversation about smoking in cars and kind of give you a little homework as to how to light your cigar a little bit differently too. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into that, and I will catch you guys on the other side. And on the line we have Luke. How you doing, Luke?
Very good, Nick. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Are we allowed to be talking right now?
Yes, we need to be talking right now.
I mean, I'm just saying, by all rights, I keep hearing that Canada is the enemy, or you're about to be our 51st state. I don't know which, but anyway, I just wanted to know.
No, we're all good.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. You and I can be the olive branch to the respective country. We can communicate and have a cigar.
Yeah, can I say instead of olive branch, it's just a cigar?
Perfect. Even better.
Okay.
Even better. Well, speaking of cigars, what are you smoking tonight?
Actually, I'm smoking something that I'm not allowed to talk about. I'm doing some reviews. A manufacturer in Nicaragua, and they gave me a whole bunch of cigars to review and some duplicates to have on the side. So let's leave it at, it looks like a Connecticut wrapper.
Okay, all right. So you have a Connecticut. I, on the other hand, I have an old standby, and I have this for a reason, because I have a story. So I have my Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown, and this is in the Churchill size. Now, the one that's pertaining to the story, it was in a Toro size, or Epicure size. They're the only ones that call it Epicure. Everybody else is Toro, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I've got this guy, and I'm gonna get this guy cut and lit and everything. Which the cut is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So please go to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Make sure you tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. Put it in the little comment box when you buy your cigars there. It helps me, and it helps them to track that you're doing this because you hear this commercial here. And just remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. Now, I will say, coming up in May, they're going to get I'm smoking a Perdomo, and it just kind of prompted my mind. Coming up in early May, they are going to be getting the Perdomo Legacy, which is the new cigar from Perdomo. So, if you're a big Perdomo fan, that's one to be watching for. And you can get those at 2guyscigars.com. But it's time now to go ahead and cut the cigar. Oh, I nuked myself. That's right.
Oh.
Actually, I just nuked myself with the remnants of the cigar that I'm going to talk about in my story. So, anyway. So, earlier today. Well, now, let me ask you a question before I get into this. Do you smoke in your car?
I do not. First of all, I have a wife who would probably lose her mind.
I didn't know if you guys maybe had separate vehicles or...
Yeah, we do. I mean, I really think she's a non-smoker. She just doesn't smoke anything.
Gotcha. So she would not appreciate the cigar aroma in the car.
Yeah, and I to be honest, I'm not sure I would myself. But I don't know how you pull it off, because I've been in your car before. We smoke regularly in your car. And
I smoke all the time in my car.
I could not smell cigar in your car, which is freaky.
Well, you gotta regulate the windows. try to keep the ash to a minimum, except in the appropriate ashtray, and empty that out accordingly. And I do try and get my car detailed once a year, just to try and freshen it up as best I can. But it's really just windows. I never smoke with the windows totally up. Now today though, I'm going to tell it. So I'm telling a story to show the value of smoking in the car. So I was over in Missouri, over in St. Louis, buying or running a few errands. And one of the errands that I did is I ran by a cigar shop and bought a few cigars, as I want to do. And the taxes are cheaper in Missouri, so why wouldn't I buy over there than here? That was that lighting noise that everybody hates. I probably should have played the greatest commercial that you've ever heard right there, but I didn't. Anyway, so I'm over there, and I buy a handful of cigars. And one of them was the I bought that the 4-pack, the little Humi pack of Perdomo Sungrown, and it's like a selection of different Sungrown from their different lines. One of them was the Epicure size of the one I'm smoking right now. And so I fired that up when I was getting ready to leave the shop and hit the highway. And so for those of you familiar with St. Louis, I was on 55 heading towards downtown, and I was going to jump the Poplar Street Bridge to head back to Illinois. For those of you not familiar with St. Louis, I was on a highway that runs north-south. It merges with a second highway. So 55 merges with 44. And when that happens, once you merge onto the master highway there, you have to quickly get to the right-hand lane. You got to jump 2 lanes of traffic to the extreme right-hand lane, so that then you're in the proper lane to get onto the bridge to jump the Mississippi River from downtown to Illinois. And so I did that. I was going to do that. As soon as I merged from 55 onto, 5544, parking lot. I mean, bumper to bumper, nobody's moving. And so I've got my window down. I've got my cigar going. My biggest stress at this point is I got to get in that right-hand lane. And once I'm in that right-hand lane, I have all day. I can coast as long as I need to. I'm in the right lane. No big deal. I eventually make it into the proper lane to get where I need to get to get onto the bridge. And then I figured it would open up, because a lot of times that's the holdup, is the merge onto the bridge. It's kind of a really tight ramp, But that was not the holdup. The highway itself, we were merging onto 64. The highway itself was backed up from I don't know, it's a solid maybe 6 or 7 miles into Illinois, past East St. Louis, all the way back past the ballpark. I mean, it was a ridiculous backup. Every lane is bumper to bumper. You cannot move. And as I'm sitting on the bridge, just watching the minutes go by, I'm smoking this cigar, and emergency vehicles are screaming by. There's a medevac helicopter. So not only do you have all this traffic, but apparently there was an accident. And I don't think the accident necessarily caused the backup. I could get into other reasons, but it's really boring. Not that this story probably isn't anyway. But anyway, I got to a point where I was able to get off the highway, cut my way through East St. Louis, through some very interesting parts of town that I had never encountered before. Google Maps, thankfully, got me through that relatively quickly. But, I felt okay, because it was in the 3 o'clock hour. It was still daylight and relatively early, but it was not a part of town that I ever wish to go back to again. But I did manage to cut around and then get to my highway to get home in about 20 minutes driving through East St. Louis. And my moral to this story, was under normal circumstances, I probably would have been rather stressed. I'd have been rather upset. I'd have been like, watching the clock. I'd have been bored. I'd have been, whatever. But I had my cigar. And that cigar got me through it. Because at that point, I didn't give a shit how long it took. I had that cigar and I had a couple others sitting on the seat next to me. I wasn't moving, so I could very easily cut and light my next cigar if I needed to. And I was fine. I was smoking a cigar. I had music on the radio. I had my windows down. It was a really pleasant day today. Hell, when I was sitting on the bridge, I had a really nice breeze because I'm basically sitting in the middle of the Mississippi River. And you get that nice breeze coming down the river there. And so, I was fine. I was just fine. And so, to your point that you don't smoke in your car, I feel for you. Because had our roles been reversed here, I mean, I would have been upset had I not had a cigar. But I was fine because I did.
Yeah, so you're basically saying that a cigar is an anti-road rage kind of device.
It is an anti-road rage device. I feel like if more people smoke cigars in their cars, they might be a little bit more chill when it comes to their driving.
Yeah, I can see that. So instead of fuck you for cutting me off, it's, let me let you in there, sir.
Right? And that's what it was. I mean, I had people that were, you know how it is when you're getting in a traffic situation where all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, I got to get from this lane all the way over to that lane. And, they see that lane move ever so slightly. So they assume that's the faster lane. So they have to move 2 lanes to get to it and everything so that then they could move 6 feet. It's that kind of a thing. They were doing that shit. And that doesn't help anything either. But yeah, I was fine. I was like, you know what? I got a little room between me and the car in front of me. I can deal with this kind of bullshit. I am fine.
Yeah.
So,
they only allow drinking and driving. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Old one.
I mean, I feel like a certain level of allowance should be allowed. I mean, for God's sakes, most beers these days that you get, most mass-produced, easily accessible, anything Anheuser-Busch product, the Coors, Miller, I mean, that's all piss water anyway. Who really cares?
It's true. You should cross the border up here. We do not make that product.
See?
We make a fine beverage up here.
Yeah, your beer might be a little bit more stout and stronger for us to be drinking and driving.
It is, but I do love Budweiser. I got hooked on it when I did a tour some time ago. And the Bud that we drink down here is, I think it's made by either Molson or Labatt's, one of the 2 major breweries here. It doesn't have the same taste at all.
Well, now, okay, I'll also say this. If you liked it because, or when you took the tour, dude, I will say this, as somebody who's taken that tour many, many times, the beer you get on that tour is the freshest you're ever going to get, from an AB product. So, it does hit differently. It hits really differently. Oh, God. I'm getting attacked by bugs. It hits really differently than the stuff you can buy in the store.
Yeah, it definitely is one of the, but I think what it is they're actually, it is beechwood aged, right? There is beechwood in the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they use beechwood here, and you can taste the difference.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, no, it took me about an hour and 15 minutes to get home today, which normally it would have taken me right at about half an hour to get home. So,
wow.
It was a solid extra 45 minutes worth of drive time. But like I said, I had that Perdomo, and I finished it. When I was getting off the exit for my town. It lasted me pretty much the entire way. I mean, I was maybe 5 minutes from home when I finally was like, no, I'm done with this. So that was nice.
I did. St. Louis does have a little bit of traffic jam issues once in a while. Where I'm at, I don't have that problem, but if I'm over in Detroit side, sometimes it all takes 10 Gawkers.
Well, part of the problem is there's a connector, or there's a highway in Illinois, 255, that they've got shut down right now both directions to do construction work on it. So all these trucks and cars that normally would be taking 255 are being rerouted onto 55, causing everybody to have to do that 55 to downtown cross the bridge thing that I described. And so there was extra traffic already because of that. But then in addition to that, you also had this accident, and it was just kind of a perfect storm of ignorance that caused a really, really big traffic backup today. And I just happened to get in the middle of it because it just timed out that way with my errands.
Yeah, and got off in East St. Louis, which I've been through.
Yep.
Very interesting, yes.
It's that's one way of putting it. Like I said, I've been, I've cut through East St. Louis before, and it's not an ideal, route to take. But generally, if it's light out and you stick to the main roads, you can cut through really quick. You can get to the highway. It's no big deal. This one was snaking me through neighborhoods and all kinds of different things. And it was a very interesting route to take. And Google, on paper, it made a lot of sense. But, the guy driving through with his, window down, smoking his cigar and listening to fucking Peter Gabriel and Genesis and that Pandora playlist, that was not probably a place that guy should be.
Oh yeah, it's the section I went through. Same thing. Google sent me through it. You could have filmed an episode of The Walking Dead with zero prep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ready to go. Burnt out cars.
Yeah.
High school was a high school probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it probably failed reopens.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to say, that's my PSA for the value of smoking in your car, because had I not been smoking in the car, I would have had a much different, perspective on this afternoon. But here I sit. I'm perfectly fine. No trauma from it. It happened. No big deal. No stress whatsoever.
Right.
By the way, listeners, I have the garage door up behind me. And so technically, let's not do that. That's my license plate. If you happen to see, if you're watching on the YouTube and you happen to see anybody moving behind me, maybe just drop a comment and let me know the timestamp so that I can look for that, because I'm not really looking at the video. And so I just want to know. I just want to know. I mean, if there's somebody behind me, I would hope that they're not going to screw with me, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Anyway. So what have you been up to, buddy?
I've been busy. Status quo. I mean, like, I got 3 kids. They're still fairly young, so busy with that.
Yeah.
And I'm having my 50th birthday event coming up in beautiful Florida. I'm going to Florida, do some fishing, hang out in the Bonita Beach area.
All right.
So other than that, can't wait to open the pool, that kind of stuff. It's finally starting to warm up down here. Cut the lawn.
Yep.
We're probably a good 3 or 4 weeks behind you, I bet, and as far as spring's concerned.
Okay. Yeah, because it got warm today. I will say that. That was the only shitty part, sitting in the car on the bridge. If I wouldn't have been getting that river breeze while I was sitting there, that would have gotten warm with all the exhaust and everything else. Because, I mean, it got to probably 85 degrees here today. So, yeah. Like, hell, right now, as we're recording, the reason I have the garage door up is because it's like 74 degrees. So, it's warm. It's warm enough. But, interesting. So big 5-0 this year. So, you're going to come and celebrate at Pulpit Fest, right? Oh, fuck.
Sure hope so. It's very dependent on the actions of your current government.
Well, yeah.
In a nutshell, I'm trying to make it for sure. Obviously, we're all worried up here. Everyone's worried globally. Everything's going to shit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say I've seen enough stories about people coming into the States and having a rough time with that process. So, yeah, well, hopefully it all works out and you can come and celebrate because it's going to be a good time. But, which, by the way, there will be a big Pulpit Fest announcement in the next episode, the one coming up on Tuesday. So if you are remotely interested, that's going to be one to check out. So
nice. Yeah, I was just saying, obviously, if people know me, that I live near the border. I live near Detroit, so as far as that's concerned, I still go over. We still do our thing, go see games, and Tigers are doing good. And, yeah, there's definitely an attitude change. We'll see what happens, but tariffs one day and no tariffs the next day. It's just hard to follow.
Trust me, I live here and it's hard to follow, so I get it. So you have been busy though with the cigar thing. So you're testing blends for folks now. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I've kind of achieved a new level in my reviewing. I was just approached by someone to review. They want to launch 3 different blends.
Okay.
And it's a toss-up between, out of all things, we've got 30 separate blends that they're working on.
Oh, my gosh.
Within that, those cigars, they want to kind of like see which one is kind of the flagship of them all, as far as burn, quality, transition, all that kind of stuff.
So, wait, did they send you like 30 or 60 samples to smoke?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Sucks being me.
So I assume you're sitting there taking notes, meticulous notes, tracking things out, and all
that. Like my reviews themselves, I'm much more meticulous. I'll review a cigar, and I don't stop reviewing. Right, you start off with everything free light, and then throughout the cigar and the whole experience, then even the finale, whatever. Where this one is looking for kind of 1 out of 5 of each category. So if they're asking you specific to the cigar's appearance, 1 to 5, 5 being the best. The cigar's construction, the cigar's draw, the cigar's transition. It's actually an easy review for me. There's like 10 questions per cigar, so I kind of get through it.
Well, that's cool.
Had they gone the other route and asked me to review every cigar like I usually do, that would have been a lot of homework.
Yeah, no shit. That's pretty cool though, and I love the fact that you doing the reviews and posting them to your Instagram account. By the way, that's MySticks35, the number 35 millimeter mm. So it's MySticks35 mm on Instagram. I think it's cool that that's kind of transitioned and gotten you this gig, because I mean, shit, man, you're doing that for fun and the thrill of it all, and then all of a sudden somebody comes along and is like, hey, smoke these 60 cigars.
Yeah, please, and let us know. Yeah, it's sweet. Like I said, when I started, it was purely hobby, and still is purely hobby, pure fun. And then I interact with people, which is great. Like certain people like certain reviewers because they're very similar palates. Yeah. Where a person see my review and be like, dude, what's this guy talking about? Well, you can almost find your reviewer. There's always like that person that kind of has your wavelength. So these people that have the similar palates are always, interacting with me. That's fun. The cigars obviously to try out, interview is fun, and then this is a whole new culmination of the of my sticks, man. This is unbelievable. I'm humbled. It's awesome.
That's awesome. That really is cool. Now you were talking to me earlier about something that you think the listeners need to try out.
Yeah. I was gonna start doing videos and stuff, but I'm not very photo forward with my own profile there. But just an experiment. How about we give the listeners a little bit of homework? And this is mostly people that have smoked for a long period of time. They get comfortable, they get into this groove, and one of which is a torch lighter. So torch lighters, although I don't use them often, they have their place. I think they're good for like touch-ups, high wind situations, whatever. But when you consider a torch lighter, it is essentially compressed gas mixed with air, and it's a miniature soldering gun, really.
For sure.
And the temperature of that scorches your cigar. So, especially if you're like he who should not be named,
yeah, somebody who just concentrates the flame on the foot of the cigar for like 20 minutes, just, saying that they're toasting it, but in reality, they're just scorching and burning the shit out of it.
Just scorching, burning, and essentially you lit it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you start seeing the cigar start bubbling and popping. It's like, oh yeah, this is
yeah. Essentially, if you're toasting your cigar and then you blow on the ash to see if it's lit, you lit your right. So like, you just want to toast it almost like you're toasting, a toast. How do you like your toast? Do you like it? Do you like your toast just a little crispy? Do you like it? If you like a burnt toast, I don't know what's wrong with you, but whatever.
I do about a 4 on my toaster. That gets it nice and gets it brown, but it doesn't get it black. I don't want it black. I don't want it I don't want it too dark. But if you go much less, at least with my toaster, if you go too much less than a 4, you barely notice that it's harder, but it's not like visibly toasted.
Yeah. You don't want to whiten your teeth with the carbon you've created.
No, not at all.
But I got it. So I got this little experiment for them to try out, and it's good to try it with maybe a more economical stick, because you're just going to try and experiment with this. But try a soft flame, either butane or a match, lightly toasted. Once the toast is complete, just take puffs, light your cigar, and then the most critical part of the cigar, the most delicate part of the cigar, is its beginnings. So you're going to know it a lot more just by lightly toasting. I see a lot of people out there that just annihilate it. It's almost lit, it's charred, and then I can only imagine what the first 10 puffs taste like. It certainly isn't floral and mild and nutty. It's probably somewhere near like charred meat or like something more aggressive.
I would say charcoal, but
try experiment if you're willing to do it, and let us know on call in, see if you can tell a difference.
We'll do that, because I personally struggle with matches. I struggle hard with matches. It's just one of those things. But I do have some soft flame lighters, and I can at least try it with that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm pretty much standard match if I can, and then if I can't, it's even more to soft flame. And
do you use the little ones or those longer matches?
Just a standard match. A lot of, you just
really?
Make sure you want to burn off. No, I'm sorry, not the cardboard. That'd be wood.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm like, really? Because, like, those things burn in, like, 3 seconds. How the hell are you getting your cigar lit with something like that? But, okay. No,
I should have specified it's a wood match. You just let everything burn off the tip. Obviously, the way they function is chemical that, at the end of it, that gets it going. You want to burn off all the sulfur and everything else. You're gonna smell if you do it right away.
Yeah.
And then just take your time and give yourself a little toast. It's like a lounge atmosphere, obviously, in a backyard where there's no wind or whatever. It's a lot easier. But like I'll go out fishing in Florida in a couple of weeks, and I'm certain I'm not going to be using matches on a boat.
No, that's where the butane lighter comes into play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or the torch, I should say. Yeah.
Yep.
But even with a torch, though, you can still toast. You don't have to burn it. I mean, that's the thing. So, I'm doing my lighter right now. And so for those of you on the YouTube, you can see the jets. You can see the 3 blue jets. And then you can see there's this little area of blue kind of rising up from those 3 jets. But then right here, oh, goddamn, that is still very hot right above. In the area right above that blue, it's hot for quite a ways up. Trust me. That's what you should be using to light your cigar. You should not be putting the jet directly to the cigar. You should not be even putting the blue flame directly to the cigar. You should be using that. Fuck, that was hot.
My point exactly.
That hot air above that heated up supercharged air above the flame. That's what you should be using to light the cigar. So when you're lighting with a torch lighter, depending upon how much you have the jets, dialed up, pull it back from the cigar, pull it back and you can see that it's being lit. You can see it's being toasted, if you're paying attention. So keep it a fair ways back. Let the flame or the heat from the flame do the work, and light it that way.
Yeah, people would be shocked if you had like a thermal imaging camera and you saw a torch. It would shock you the difference between butane torch and a match. And you're right. I mean, if that's all you got, that's fine. It's all preference.
I got a fucking June bug right in front of me here. This dumb little bastard is flying all over the place, and now he's laying on his back, kicking in the air because he's dumb and he rolled over. And I just want to I'm not going to smash him because I don't want to. I mean, he's stupid. He doesn't deserve to die for being stupid. But on the flip side, it's like, dude, don't fuck with me. I'm in the middle of recording. Please, just go away. Go away. Come on.
Your June bug's a question for you, because we have a bug in the Great Lake area where I'm at it's actually called a mayfly.
Yeah,
but a June bug is a little beetle, correct?
Yeah, June bug's a stupid little beetle, and they're too armored up for my salt gun. But they're only and they can't fly for shit. They just buzz around and they bump into shit. And what really sucks is when one's flying around and gets lodged in your hair, and they panic and they're kicking and doing shit in your hair, and you're desperately trying to get it out of your hair. I fucking hate June bugs so much. It's that time of year though. It's June bug season. I hate it because June bugs.
Next kind of bugs you have?
Mosquito season comes after June bug season. So that's the thing. We're in June bug season. So now after June bugs leave, that's when the mosquitoes come out. And I deal with them. Oh, you mother. I kicked you off the table. I booted you off the table. And now you're back. Now you're back. And you're all up in my courts. Anyway. Oh, no, there's two of you. You rat bastards. Anyway.
I'm kind of worried about you.
God, I hate these things so much. And they're back. It's on its back. Again, it hit the wall, bounced off. Now it's on the table, rolling around on its back. Anyway, and then I'm dealing with mosquitoes all the way up until October. So, realistically, man, I hate bugs. I hate bugs a lot. But
we probably like up here. We get the occasional. I know last year you guys had a crazy infestation of cicadas, right?
Oh yeah, we had the cicadas or the locusts or whatever, fucking crazy, man. We had it was a 17-year and a 7-year fucking breed, all came out at the same time, and they were just everywhere. Now they were worse in other parts, Chicago got hit really, really bad. That was biblical plague type shit. But oh yeah, they were pretty rough there for a while. And I don't like them either because they're too strong for my salt gun as well. And dude, you blast them with the salt gun and they just scream. They just make this kind of horrible scream, and I hate them so much too. Not as much as the June bug. I think I hate the June bugs more because it feels like there's more of them, and they're more active. The locust or cicadas or whatever the fuck, I don't know if it's the same thing. They would be everywhere, but they didn't really move around a lot. They just kind of settled into place, and they would scream and make noise, which I found out last year is apparently their mating call. They wake up and they have sex and then they die. And that's their entire life cycle. And the sex is designed to get the next breed, for the next 7 years or 17 years or whatever type they are, gestating. But basically they wake up, they do their little mating call, scream, they have sex, and then they die. So,
Very, very sad.
You got to respect it. I mean, it's what it is. But the June bugs, I hate them so much. Anyway, sorry, we were talking about lighting cigars, and then I started getting attacked by bugs.
Yeah, well, we barely get it. As far as June bugs are concerned, we barely get any here at all. But I know because
Yeah, but you get snow. You guys still get snow. Like, you're not as far north. So Sean, who went to PCA with me, he lives in Michigan, but he's in like Upper Peninsula.
Oh yeah.
And so that's north of you, correct?
Yeah, it's not only it's quite a bit north. Like we've discussed this a couple times in the show.
Yeah.
Detroit, like the States, is north of me.
Okay. So
like Canada, this little thing. So Michigan's pretty much all north, and that area is the lake effect, right? It's surrounded by.
He's still getting blasted with winter weather, and I'm just like, I asked him point blank. I'm like, why are you living there? It's like, why are you even living there? And apparently his wife recently asked him the same question. So.
Oh no. Yeah, it's like beyond beautiful. Northern Michigan is gorgeous. If you like hiking, camping, skidoo, outdoor sports, skiing, fishing, 4x4, man. It's a land. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
I'm sure it is, but like if I'm dealing with ice and snow in late April, I don't want it,
Truth.
But, whatever. That's just me. My entire plan is to try and retire somewhere that at best has 3 seasons. I don't want winter. You know what really sucks is that San Diego's in California, because that's the place where it's like 75 and sunny like all year long. But it's in California, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, is it not a anti-cigar state as well, or no?
I think taxes are high there, and not to mention the fact that it's just expensive as shit to live there, just in general. I mean, my house, I paid, a reasonable amount, more than I would have paid, 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I was, 25. Fuck. When would that have been? 15 years ago when I bought my first house. But nonetheless, this house that I'm in right now, if it were in California, I mean, shit, man. With the amount of size and the sunroom I've got off back and everything like that, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a, $1.5 to $2 million house in California. And let me tell you, it's a nice house, but it's not a $1.5 to $2 million house.
You should come to Canada then. It'll blow your mind. The real estate is just inflated to absolute ridiculous proportions.
I actually follow this one couple on Instagram. They bought this mansion, this huge mansion. It's super 70s, and they have gutted this thing down to like basically the frame, and they're doing like a DIY, trying to build it, gut it, and then build it back. But they live in Canada, and so they've been dealing with all kinds of shit and the cost and everything else, and it's like, I don't know. People are saying, like, wouldn't it have been cheaper to just go and, like, buy something? And they say no, but I don't know.
I mean, if you're doing it yourself, obviously you're saving the labor, but
yeah,
the market here is ballistic, especially rental markets where people looking for an investment home, right? So it's a smaller home.
Yeah.
It might have been $200,000. You flip it a couple of years, whatever. Now these houses are the most wanted of houses, so they're the most inflated. You get a house that 10 years ago was, honest to God, $200,000 Canadian, I should say, a house. So,
which would have been like, 50,000 US.
65 cents. Case of beer. No, but now it's almost tripled for sure.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's that thing, man. I keep reading articles about the younger generations basically saying that they're never going to own a home. And it's like, realistically, it's getting harder and harder. But now we're getting back into politics, and we don't need to do that. You know what we can do now, though? Let's do this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. Brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. You know, I could be a real dick and I could get my torch lighter and I could just pop this thing like a piece of popcorn. It's just laying on the table, just on its back, just kicking in the sky. I'm not going to because
it might prove my point. How hot that lighter does get.
Oh, so I could definitely prove your point with that, but I'm not going to because you know what? It's cruel. I'm not. I mean, I guess a salt gun is also not exactly a nice thing to do to it, but nonetheless, they're too armored up. I can't do anything to them with a salt gun. Flies are flies are the best thing with the salt gun. But
they remind me of a miniature version of, have you ever watched Dark Crystal?
Yes, a long time ago, but yes.
Those big beetle creatures that like run around like just suits of armor,
Yep.
So what have you been watching?
I knocked it off the table. So I finished Tacoma FD. Which, I don't know, are you into, like, the Broken Lizard stuff? So, like, Super Troopers, and I think they did one on Beer Fest. Like, those movies. Have you ever watched those?
I've seen both of them. They're Beer Fest to me is, stitches. It's just such a funny flick. And same with the second Super Trooper. They
with Canada.
They made fun of Canada real perfectly. It was well done, well executed.
So they did this show on cable called Tacoma FD Fire Department, and basically it's a fire department, and there's 4 seasons of it. It's on Netflix. I think it's maybe 13 episodes a season. They're half an hour, and I liked it. You know, it was kind of a mindless show. I was able to turn it on and just kind of watch it and laugh. And I dug it. And what's sad is it's pretty obvious they were planning for a 5th season, and they didn't get it. And so the end of the last episode, it doesn't end with like a cliffhanger, like I'll be forever like pissed off that I don't know what happens next. But it does end in such a way that it sets up what the next season was going to be about. And I'm kind of like, damn, I wish I would have been able to see that. But they also had a cast member that left between seasons 3 and 4 and due to scheduling conflicts, and I'm kind of the new guy was not nearly as good as the old guy, so that also kind of threw things off. But the first 3 seasons super solid. Last season little less solid than the first 3, but I really enjoyed Tacoma FD.
Nice.
And then the other thing that I've been watching, and I was watching it earlier after I got home from my trap. Oh, you little fucker. It's on my... Look at this. Oh, God. Oh, I fucking hate these things. I was about to show the listeners that it landed on my shirt, and then it like decided it was going to drop right into my hand, and God, gross. Anyway, after I got home from my traffic debacle, and before you and I got on the call here, I watched a couple episodes of the 5th season of Dark Side of the Ring, because I like knowing all the seedy stories of the old wrestlers, you know, and then I turned on King of the Hill because I'm excited for the new King of the Hill that's coming sometime this year. Everybody's aged up, so like they're doing it proper timeline. So you know, Bobby's gonna be older, everybody's gonna be older, and it'll be good. I will say it's going to be sad because the guy who did the voice for Dale, he passed away. So they got some of it recorded, but I don't think they got a lot of it recorded. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. So, fuck. They're just dive-bombing me left and right here, dude. They're coming in from all sides.
Is there a remedy? Like I know with mosquitoes, there's spray, there's whatever. Is there for these guys?
My remedy would be to shut my garage door and, you know, just eradicate the ones that are already in here. But unfortunately, that would require me getting up and doing that. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'll probably do that after we're done with our conversation. But But for right now, I'm dealing with it. And for whatever reason, something tells me the listeners are probably somewhat entertained at the prospect that I just keep getting assaulted by June bugs left and right. So, anyway, what have you been watching?
I don't watch too much TV. Like I said, pretty busy, but I have watched Guillermo del Toro. Is that his name?
Yeah.
There is a show that he does called Cabinets of Curiosity. I don't know if you've ever seen these.
I haven't.
Okay, you've got to check them out, man.
Cabinets of Curiosity?
Cabinet of Curiosity. So what he did was basically allowed, I think there's 8 shows. He's allowed 8 different authors, a short story, essentially. It has some really good actors in each of them. Like there's a redhead kid from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Easily one of them. I mean, there's some pretty decent names in them, but the actual stories, because they're one-offs, right? Like it's just the cream of the crop of this particular writer.
Yeah.
They're absolutely awesome. They're well done. The gore is there. I definitely recommend watching with anyone too young.
Okay.
But I can't stress, if you're a horror movie nut, if you like almost not macabre, but like the dark stuff, man. It's awesome. It's so good. And it's done in his style, right? It's all you've seen Pan Labyrinth, you've seen all.
I was gonna say. I mean, he did that. I know he did the first 2 Hellboy movies. He did. He's done all kinds of different things. His monster stuff, man. He loves doing the different creatures and stuff. He's got a real signature style to it. So that's cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're a fan of his, you have to watch these for sure.
Okay.
I've watched or listened to podcasts recently. Lost Hills. It's called Dark Canyon, I believe this is. So 4th Dark series. It's a series. It's a 4th about not to give it away completely, but it's about a young girl going missing. She ends up in a weird part of Malibu, which is in the kind of the hills where like the hippies live.
Okay.
And she's got the mental health issues, whatever. Long story short, the police office there arrest her and decide at one point at like midnight to just let her leave. So she has mental health problems. They let her leave. She has no idea who she is, and she's not even in civilization. So she ends up going missing, and it goes from there. But is
this a true thing or is this fiction?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay.
It became very much a race thing. She's a young black woman, and
okay.
they were famous. This police station was famous because that's the station Mel Gibson went to when he got all hammered.
Okay.
And
okay.
And they drove him home, even though he caused what he did.
Yeah. But then this lady, they just let her go out in the woods by herself at midnight.
Right. And she's stuck. I mean, there's people living in those hills. There's like known pornographers.
Oh my gosh.
Reminds me of like Jackie Treehorn from Lebowski, but yeah, it's like these little pornography huts, and it's an interesting story.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Lebowski, did you see that? The actor, the guy who played Lebowski.
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. Sorry, I was blanking on his name. Did you see that he apparently recently at some panel or something like that, kind of said that he thought that the theory that Donnie was a figment of John Goodman's imagination made sense to him, and that it actually is kind of a neat way to watch the movie if you think that that's what's going on.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. Almost like he's an ex-Vietnam cuckoo.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I don't know if it really truly makes sense though, because they go and do the whole bit at the end with the ashes and everything, and I mean, I get. Yeah. I don't know. So that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if I buy that. I'd have to watch the movie. It's been a minute since I've watched that movie. I'd have to watch it again with that in mind to see if it truly tracks out and makes sense. But
he's always in conflict with him. Like he's always arguing with him, telling you're out of your element, Donnie, and like he's
And that's the thing, is that apparently he's the only one who really kind of interacts with Donnie. That Lebowski doesn't really interact with Donnie at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
And the Walrus dude.
Weird. I'll have to watch it again. So, sorry, I interrupted. So, do you have any other pot?
One last one. I remember last time I talked on the show, I was talking about music, and a new album. All you 50-year-olds out there know who Jack White is, from the White Stripes. He's a basically local star here. He came to town, so I took my son to his first concert, and he just rocked it out. So I've been entertained by that. I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was mental. The guy is probably one of the most interesting, talented musicians around at this point. His new album is nuts. If anyone likes, I don't know what you'd call it, just clean rock, man.
Well, and that's cool that you were able to take your son to that too, because I mean, and that was his first concert.
Yeah, he's 12.
I mean, dude, that's a hell of a first concert.
Oh yeah, for sure. He dug it. He was like, he couldn't help mention on several occasions of the Devil's Lettuce in the.
Smells like skunk, Daddy.
Yeah, why can't I stop laughing?
I'm really hungry. Let's get some nachos.
Yeah, but it was a tremendous show. He's huge in Detroit. He's got his own record. He produces and he presses records. He buys old say records that have gone. You'll purchase the rights to a record by Sun, let's say an old Sun record.
Yeah.
Repress here in Detroit and go, pick an album up if you're into vinyl.
Very cool. That's neat. Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, dude, I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening. It's always nice to catch up and chat for a bit. And yes, so for the listeners, Luke gave you homework. Give a soft flame, be it either a match or a soft flame lighter, a shot, and just toast your cigars. Don't roast your cigars. Just toast your cigars. And maybe, have two of them. Get yourself. There's some really good affordable cigars out there. You can find. Get some Brick House. Get a Charter Oak. Get something that's affordable. Get two of them side by side. And, smoke one the way he's recommending and smoke one the way you normally light your cigar, probably with a torch lighter, and just see which one has the better flavor.
Yeah, just let us know if someone calls in. Just let us know if you know the difference. Just be delicate with one. Be uber sensitive about how you're toasting it and lighting it. And then, annihilate the other one and note the difference.
Well, and to your point there, I just want to, just to tack onto the conversation here, and it goes back to me in the car. We smoke these cigars for relaxation. We're not smoking them because oh my God, I need to get my nicotine hit or anything like that. We're wanting to relax. We're wanting to unwind. And if you take just a smidge of extra time, take an extra 30 to 45 seconds to light your cigar properly versus just to get it lit, it's just going to add to that relaxation and to that pleasant enjoyment experience. And just take the extra time. Don't rush it. You wouldn't rush through cooking a meal and doing that poorly just because you're so looking forward to actually eating. You're going to take the time to cook something properly so that when you eat it, it tastes good. In this case, take the time to cut and light your cigar properly so that when you're smoking it, you have a pleasant experience.
Absolutely. And in a cigar itself, you got to keep in mind it's delicate. Like, we go out of our way to humidify it properly. We go out of our way to age it. We go out of our way to carry it properly because it's so delicate you can snap the wrapper or whatever. So treat it in that sense. It's a delicate product that deserves your attention, and I mean, in more cases than none, it's an expensive product as well. So
definitely not getting any cheaper. So
yeah. But speaking of, how are you enjoying your cigar, sir?
I am enjoying my cigar. I'm about not quite halfway on it, and like I said, this is one of my regular go-tos, and it's got that nice Nicaraguan spice and pepper to it, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. And you?
Nice.
Are you enjoying your Mystery Connecticut there?
Yeah, whatever is the numeric value on the side of it. Connecticut. It's good. It's really good. It's almost got like peppermint notes, like mineral notes. It's nice. Really mild to medium. It's nice. Yeah. So far, so good. I mean, it's going to take me a while to get through all of these because I don't want to destroy my palate and do like if I get it all in one. By the time I get the last one, it'd be really pointless. So, trying to get.
What kind of a deadline did they give you?
None really. I kind of explained it on my situation, and they were pretty good with even taking months to do it. They're pretty cool. They just want to make sure that I take my time.
Very good. All right. Well, whenever they eventually hit the market, you'll have to come on and let us know what it was you were smoking.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It could have been. I'll talk to you after the fact, but it could have been a PCA. They're kind of a growing manufacturer. So
okay,
we'll talk later.
Well, okay. I'm gonna get the scoop. So, all right. Well, Luke, thank you so much for taking time. I appreciate it.
You got it, man. Good talking to you.
Good talking to you. And I really want to thank Luke for taking time out of his day to hang out with us a little bit. It's always nice to circle up with him and kind of get his perspective on things. I mean, that's the thing. Canada is it's just a little north of us, but my God, it's a different world sometimes, and they have a different perspective about things taking place here and abroad and everything. But he also brings such a good and interesting palette to the situation. So I'm always happy to welcome him to the show. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this now. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars can't clip our wings. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I feel like I'm... Oh, that was highly unfortunate. Man, sorry about that. So, let's talk a little bit about Rodney Smith Jr. Rodney Smith Jr., based in Huntsville, Alabama, started something truly inspiring. Back in 2015, he saw an elderly man struggling to mow his lawn and decided to help. That simple act of kindness sparked an idea. What if he could mow lawns for people who needed it but couldn't do it themselves, like the elderly, disabled, single parents, or veterans? He launched Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service, a nonprofit that offers free lawn mowing across the United States. It wasn't just about helping people maintain their yards, it was about restoring pride, dignity, and community. But he didn't stop there. He created the 50-Yard Challenge, which is a call to kids and teens across the country to mow 50 yards for free. Thousands of kids took him up on it, and now he's empowering a whole new generation to serve their neighbors. Rodney travels the country in his custom mower van, helping people and mentoring kids. It's a simple idea that grew into a nationwide movement based on kindness, action, and community. So guys, be like Rodney Smith Jr. and Blackbird Cigars, and don't let anybody clip your wings. All right, so since it's Friday, that means it's time for a Pinky Fun Fact.
Hey, it's your girl Pinky. Ready for a fun fact? The Haunted Mansion at Disneyland is the most popular place for guests to dump the ashes of their loved ones. This has been Pinky, and I'll be back next time with more fun facts.
They cracked down on that pretty hard, though. Like, that might be a popular place to do it, but I've read articles and whatnot. Like, Disney definitely does not appreciate that, and they definitely crack down pretty hard on that. So, if you're thinking about dumping your loved one at Disney, which why would you? Why would you? I mean, I don't want to get into it, but whatever. we all know I have a thing about the Disney adults, but there's so many nicer places that your loved one could be scattered than Disney World. But anyway, be that as it may, don't do that. Disney's gonna crack down on you. You're not gonna like it. Well, we are available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. Goddamn Junebug. I'm available on Facebook with the Pulpit Parishioners Group. We're on Twitter/X, where I don't really do much. We're on YouTube and Rumble, and we're also on Spotify video for you Spotify listeners. If you want to watch it instead of listen to it, you can watch it on Spotify as well. And I do need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit episode. I had to recruit Luke fairly last minute, so I definitely want to thank him for his time, because he and I had talked about just getting together and just, having a little video thing and just, smoking a cigar. I basically told him, like, hey, buddy, I need a show for tomorrow. And so we had to kind of scramble and do that. And so what initially was going to be a just nice, relaxing cigar turned into a production. So I again want to thank him for that. But I do need some calls for the Ask the Pulpit episodes. So give the hotline a call. Area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. Otherwise, hopefully you got something out of this episode. I think it's important to remember that cigars are relaxation. I think that's something I want to circle back on. Cigars, it's important to take that relaxation time and to truly appreciate it. So make sure that you give yourself that relaxation time, and be that in the car or at home or whatever. And when you're doing so, do it properly. Consider lighting your cigar with a match or a soft flame. I'm going to try it. I'm not good at matches. I have some longer ones, so I'm going to give those a try. Hopefully I get a little bit more time out of them and I can properly do it. Anyway, if you're going to enjoy the cigar, put the effort into really, truly enjoying it. Guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Stay safe and stay smoky. Thanks, everyone.